What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Tristin. TaZe. Hope you all are having a wonderful, fantastic day. Thank you guys so much for tuning back into the channel for a brand new Call of Duty Modern Warfare video. In today's video, guys, what we're going to be doing is taking a look at the top 10 best assault rifle class setups that you can use in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. We go through all of the ARs and so forth and everything like that. So before we get into it, guys, if you please like on the video down below, as well as subscribe to the channel if you guys are brand new. That'd be really awesome. And of course, please make sure to turn on post notifications, stay up to date with all the content here on the channel. Follow me on all my social media down below. And with that being said, guys, let's get to the video. So the first one, guys, that I have is for the GRAW 556. Now this is with the prototype alpha blueprint and everything. I have the monolithic suppressor, the Tempest 26.4 Archangel barrel, commando foregrip, 60 round mags, and no stock. Now the reason why no stock, it helps with the movement and the aim down sight speed. I do lose that stability and that recoil though, but it definitely pops off, as you guys will see in one of my most recent videos. Then I have the 26.4 Archangel barrel to really help with that damage, that bullet velocity, and that recoil control overall, which is really going to help. Otherwise, I would recommend something maybe like the 20.8 Nexus barrel, but this is the one I go with. Now, monolithic suppressor, again, to help with that damage and that sound suppression, which is going to be really good. And in terms of things, commando foregrip, to really just help with the recoil stabilization and the aiming stability when it comes to this gun. Really, the only bad thing about it is really going to be mobility. And then in terms of things, I am running currently the Renetti on here. I don't have really a lot of attachments or anything. And then typically what I do for perks is I'm running Scavenger or Hardline and Tracker. Maybe it'll be Hardline or Ghost on some of these. And then mostly it's going to be Molotov and Stuns and so forth. Now the next one, guys, is the Ram 7. This is with the monolithic suppressor, the FSS Ranger barrel, commando foregrip, 50 round mags, and the stipple grip tape. Now the Ranger, same thing because of the previous barrel. It's going to have better damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control. Then I'm using, again, the monolithic suppressor for the sound suppression and damage range. Commando foregrip to help with the recoil and stability. Really the only thing that takes a toll on this entire setup is going to be movement speed in terms of things. And if that's really a big issue, I would say maybe swapping out one of these, maybe the ammo or so forth, and putting on something like the extra light hollow would kind of help out when it comes down to it. Now moving forward, guys, the next one is a M4A1 class, and I have to say this is definitely a really good one if you are playing in hardcore and so forth. The monolithic suppressor, the stock M16 Grenadier, the commando foregrip, 60 round mags, and a no stock. The no stock to help with the movement and the ADS speed, which is going to really help out a lot because it will actually increase the movement greatly, and it is basically the ultimate run and gun modification. Then we have on the M16 Grenadier, the reason I chose this is the damage range, the bullet velocity, and again the recoil control, and it's going to add substantial weight for smoother handling, which is why there's a little bit down in mobility. And then as well, guys, when it comes to the monolithic suppressor, the same stuff, sound suppression, damage range across the board, and so forth. Now this one, I do have a combat knife, which is a little bit different. This is one where occasionally if I'm playing sweats or so forth, I tend to pull this class out. If I can't get kills, I just end up knifing them and so forth. The next one, guys, is the Kilo 141. Now, I actually put the Regal Retribution on this instead of the standard Kilo because I really like this skin and so forth. And this, we have the SCARH Arms Whisper, the Merc foregrip, 60 round mags, the GI Mini, and the no stock when it comes down to it. Now, in terms of things, I chose the SCARH Arms Whisper over any of these other ones because of the sound suppression and bullet velocity versus something like this, which definitely could do a little bit more in terms of damage and range, but you will end up losing in the movement speed and so forth. Now, in terms of things, the GI Mini Reflex to help with the precision sight picture, and it's unobstructed, so I'm not having to worry about the scope kind of blocking my view and so forth. No stock, that way that I'm able to rush around very quickly with an AR. And again, this really does help out the mobility quite a lot because if you guys see, if I take no stock off, it does that much of a bad thing. And then in terms of things as well, I am running Merc foregrip. You probably could have put on something like I would say control and that, or commando foregrip, that would help out just a little bit more. And then the 60 round mags to help with the mag ammo capacity and so forth. Normally on this, you are going to be getting 100 round drums. I just don't like the 100 round drums when it comes down to it, and so forth. Now, moving on to the next one, guys, is the M13, and I made some adjustments to this. In terms of things, we're going to be using the monolithic suppressor, the Tempest marksman barrel, rather than the Cyclone or the Mini. We're going to be using commando foregrip, the 300 blackout 30 round mags, and no stock. Now, one of the things, as you guys can tell, this has no red markers on the on the stats for this gun and so forth, which is really what makes it very good. The 300 blackout mags help with damage range, no visible tracers, and no enemy skulls. So this is going to pack more energy over greater differences and so forth. It's a higher barrel caliber with a lower muzzle velocity. And then on top of that, the marksman barrel is going to help with the damage range, velocity, and recoil control. And obviously the same thing with the monolithic suppressor, which is what helps out with the range and so forth. On this one, guys, I am running the, I believe it's the X13 Impossible Task. And this is one of my favorite classes that I've built in this game and so forth. Really good in terms of accuracy, damage, sometimes in range and fire rate. But overall, really awesome. The next one, guys, is the AK-47. And I'm kind of ranking this one up, as you guys can see from time to time. So pardon the fact that this is not a complete class at the moment. But right now, I'm using the 23.0 RPK barrel, commando foregrip, the 5.45 times 39mm 30 rounds, the stipple grip tape, and no stock. The reason I chose this is because it helps with the fire rate and the recoil control. You do lose out on the damage and range, but it kind of makes the gun more balanced and so forth when it comes down to it. The next one, guys, is with the SCARH, and this one is the red curtain. Again, I apologize, this gun is not completely leveled up to the way that I want it to be, but in its current state, I think it is still very, very, very good and everything. Now we have the muzzle brake, the Forge Tac 17.2 barrel, commando foregrip, 30 round mags, and fully loaded. I do not have FMJ unlocked at the point in time right now, but I think that nonetheless this is still good. And eventually as well, I think maybe you could also do FTAC, collapsible stock, or no stock eventually, and it will help out in the long run and so forth. The next one, guys, is for the 5.56, one of my favorite guns in Modern Warfare. This is with the 24.4 sniper barrel, the Ranger foregrip, 50 round mags, stipple grip tape, and the ultralight hollow. This helps with the aim walking movement speed. The barrel helps with damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control. It also has, with the additional weight, stabilizing grouping, but hinders the mobility just a little bit, as you guys can tell, and so forth. Ranger foregrip, definitely not my first choice. Normally I'd go with something like commando foregrip, but I really do like it. Having that 50 round mags on here and everything is going to be really nice. And the stipple grip tape to help with the sprint to fire and the ADS speed when it comes down to it. And then as well, guys, the Odin. This is one where if you guys really want to play long range or even on shipment and just stay behind barrels, you can do this. Colossal suppressor, Ranger foregrip, 30 round mags, stipple grip tape, and the XL Elite comb stock. The Colossus suppressor, just basically going to do a lot and so forth. Then with Ranger foregrip, you're going to get a lot of recoil control and aiming stability with a couple of these other things as well. Aim down sights and sprint to fire speed for the grip tape. And as well, when it comes down to it, I think overall it's just going to make a very good gun. The last one is one that I'm also working on because I haven't played with this gun until very recently, is the FAL. Now, in terms of things right now, I'm using muzzle brake, commando foregrip, the aim op reflex sight, and heavy hitter. Probably what will happen is I'll get FMJ on this. Maybe I'll add a barrel or so forth, like the 18.0 ultralight, and kind of see how things go from there. Now, what I want to show you guys is my Killstreaks that I run, which are UAV, VTOL, and Chopper Gunner. Typically, this means I'm going to, depending on the class, either get it at 3, 7, and 9 kills, or the standard 4, 8, and 10 if I'm using hardline. And then I use dead silence overall just because it really does help out when playing very strategically and trying to go for high kill games and everything like that. But let me know what you guys did think about this video. I really did enjoy bringing you guys kind of a look at the class subs that I play with. Maybe I might do a top 10 best bundle blueprints to play with in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, if that's something you guys would really like to see. But, of course, with that being said, guys, my name's Tristin TaZe. Leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel if you guys are brand new, and I'll see all of you guys in the next one.